Hello everybody and welcome again to EnglishLogica.com's vocabulary building series. Today we are looking at some vocabulary related to speed or speeding or generally just moving fast. So let's get started with that. As usual, we split our vocabulary into two sections. The first is synonyms and the second idioms. So let's look at some synonyms for speed or related to speeding. So we split our vocabulary into common use or everyday spoken English and advanced exams. So in the advanced exams, you'll have more sophisticated language that you might find in some exams like GRE, GMAT, etc. So you'll see that there's not many words in this presentation today. In the common use, we'll be looking at rush, hurry, dash, steady, measured, rapid, swift, whirlwind, brisk, and there are some more on the next slide. But in the advanced exams, we'll be looking at expeditious, metronomic, sprightly, and FLIT. And then some more in the common use, hasty and accelerate. So let's get started with the common use synonyms related to speed or moving fast. Our first word is rush. This is to move with urgent intent. So it can be confusing to learn the different ways to use rush. You can rush a task or rush a location. Now, to rush a location, so you could say that the soldiers rushed the city or they rushed the town. It's like storming or like running fast towards something, but usually in a violent or an aggressive way. You could say that the football fans rushed the pitch after the game, for example. But to rush a task is just to do it faster. So the different ways to use the verb rush. So you can be in a rush, or you can rush your dinner, or there can be a rush for something. So, for example, around holiday time, say for example, someone celebrating Christmas, and maybe there's a special toy that everyone wants, and there's a rush for that toy in the stores at the time. So some examples then, when the school bell rang, there was a mad rush for the door. Example 2, angry protesters rushed the Capitol building on January 6th, 2021. Example 3, don't be in such a rush to grow up. You'll miss being a child. Our next word is hurry. This is to move or act faster than usual. So you can hurry when performing an action, or you can be in a hurry when you're moving fast. You can also do something in a hurried way. So example 1, if you hadn't been in such a hurry to finish your meal, you wouldn't have indigestion now. Example 2, the movie starts in 5 minutes. Hurry. So you're using hurry there as an imperative. The next word is dash. This is very quick motion towards a location. So a dash towards something. So think of a dash when you're typing. It covers a short distance between 2 points. So when you dash or when you make a dash for something, you get to a point very quickly. So example 1, when we came out of the bar, it was raining so hard that we had to make a dash for the car. Example 2, he dashed across the floor to catch the bottle before it fell off the table. Our next word is steady, and this is a regular rate of change. Something said to be steady doesn't change or is reliable. And then there's another way to use steady in this regard about a relationship. You can say that they've been going steady for 6 months now. This means that the couple have been seeing each other regularly. Okay, going steady is a popular expression. Example 1, as the storm set in, they continued at a slow and steady pace up the mountainside. So you're keeping that regular pace to be careful, for example. Example 2, over the past 2 years, we witnessed a steady decline in the appreciation of scientific fact. Our next word then is measured. This is a controlled and ordered pace. A measured pace or measured movement is slow and careful. You might also hear the term measured prose, which is the sort of writing in which the author is careful about what they say. Okay, so it's a different meaning for measured, but it still has that element or aspect of cautiousness or being careful. So example 1, the soldiers marched with a measured pace, trudging through the mud. Example 2, the way he approached the task was with equal accuracy and measure. The next word is rapid. This is fast action in a short time. So if something happens rapidly, it is unexpected or certainly not expected to happen so fast. The term rapid fire, it was originally about gunfire, but it's often used to talk about very fast actions. So you can talk about rapid fire movement or rapid fire action. The fast flowing water on a river is often referred to as the rapids. So example 1, the debate was heating up and one of the candidates attacked the other with a rapid-fire list of accusations and allegations. Okay, you're almost using rapid fire like an adjective there to describe the list. We descended rapidly into the valley, hoping to avoid the incoming rain clouds. Our next word is swift. This is quick or immediate action. This word is slightly old-fashioned, but you might hear people say that someone got the job done swiftly, for example. Perhaps in news reporting, you may hear that the government took swift action in response to an emergency. So our examples, it was only a mild case of COVID. I made a swift recovery and was back to work 2 weeks later. Example 2, we've decided to take swift action to stop things escalating. Example 3, I dealt with the problem swiftly and my boss commended me for it. Our next word is whirlwind. This is chaotic and full of rapid changes. In nature, a whirlwind is a violent, chaotic phenomenon, lifting things up and throwing them around the place. The same goes for activity and actions. When you use this word, they are fast and chaotic. For example 1, they were married very shortly after a whirlwind romance. Example 2, she was a whirlwind of a woman who took no prisoners and got the job done. Example 3, they moved people from one department to another and changed how we worked within hours. It was all a bit of a whirlwind. A whirlwind, pronounce that properly. The next word is brisk. This is energetic and quick. You hear people talking about going for a brisk walk. This is a short and fast walk designed to get your heart pumping. But things can also happen briskly, which means they happen quickly, and sometimes brisk can mean abrupt. Okay, so sudden or without warning. It's not heard much as a verb. You can talk about someone brisking up their pace. They brisked up, which means to pick up or increase. So example 1, the doctor told me that a brisk walk every morning would help with my recovery. Example 2, I don't have much time, so I'll be brisk. You're lazy and you make mistakes. You're fired. Okay, so that's the aspect of being abrupt, just getting straight to the point. Our next word is hasty, and this is something that is too fast and without care. If someone does something hastily, they do it without considering the consequences. It's similar to rash or acting rashly. A hasty act is something done urgently. And you'll hear a very popular expression, with great haste. Something happened with great haste. There's also another very popular saying, do something with less haste, more speed. So they want you to do something fast, but not to do it so hastily that you do it wrong. So example 1, they put the furniture together hastily, so it collapsed within hours. Example 2, don't be in such haste to grow up, you'll miss being a child. Example 3, in a hasty attempt to fix the problem, you seem to have made things worse. Our next word is accelerate. This is to increase speed over time or distance. So you can accelerate a vehicle or your plans. It's about moving faster than before. You might hear about an accelerated timeline, or that something accelerated dramatically. Example 1, I think it's time we moved to the next phase in our operations and accelerate our plans to take over the world. Example 2, I pressed my foot down on the accelerator and I leaned back in my seat. Okay, so if you don't know, accelerator is the pedal in a car or any vehicle that you press to make the vehicle go faster. So now let's move on to the advanced exams synonyms. Only a few to cover here in this one. Our first is expeditious. This is something that is fast and efficient. So don't get this confused with an expedition, which is a journey. And I'm pretty sure we cover the word expedition in our vocabulary video about walking or related to walking. So expeditious instead is about doing something fast and within a given time frame. Think about a courier expediting a package. So to expedite a package is to get it out and deliver it very fast. So example 1, we would like to congratulate you on the expeditious manner in which you handle that problem. Example 2, now that we know what needs to be done, I expect you to act expeditiously. Our next word is metronomic. This is something that, or action that is regular and steady. So a metronome is a mechanical device that keeps time while you're playing an instrument. You may have seen one, people put it on top of a piano and it ticks back and forward so that people can keep the beat. If you do something metronomically, you keep a steady and reliable pace. Example 1, his movements as he swung the axe and chopped the wood were metronomic. Every 10 seconds, he chopped a block. Okay, so you get that idea of something keeping a regular pace. She needs to quicken her pace. Right now, she's moving too metronomically to bypass the other runners before the finishing line. Next word is sprightly. This is to be full of energy or to be lively. It's often used to talk about an old person who appears unusually active or unexpectedly active. Imagine someone moving with a hop or a skip in that their movements convey their light-hearted mood. So example 1, a mistake there should be the woman. So the woman made her way to the store with a sprightly step, delighted to be out of her house. Example 2, I love watching my grandfather working in his garden. He's surprisingly sprightly for his age. Our next word, and this is our last word in this section, is flit. This is to move sharply and swiftly. You might have seen a tiny bird moving very quickly from place to place, or an insect buzzing from one flower to another. In this regard, you could say that these creatures are flitting from place to place. So our examples then, the tiny hummingbird flitted from one flower to another, feeding on the nectar inside. Example 2, she doesn't do any work. She spends her day flitting around the office, talking to everyone. Okay, so as usual in these videos, we have this little table for degrees of speed. This is just a demonstration of maybe the intensity of things as we use the words. So along the top, you'll see the words that we have in our common use or our spoken English, and in the bottom then our advanced exams language. Now, this isn't an authoritative table, so don't take it as a rule in any sense, but you will see generally speaking that as you move towards the right, the words are more intense in terms of speed. So in the top, you'll see a measured and steady. So a measured and steady pace. So it's a little slower and there's not as much speed there. But definitely as you move towards the right, you have whirlwind and rapid and dash. So things are much more intense and much faster. And below then you have metronomic on the left, moving to the right until we get to flit. Some very quick, short, sharp movements. So let's look at some idioms for speed. So we cover 10 idioms, and the ones we're going to cover are a mile a minute, full steam ahead, put the pedal to the metal, spread like wildfire, quick off the mark, get your skates on, off to a flying start, quick on the uptake, get the finger out, and like a bat out of hell. So a mile a minute. Our examples then, will you please slow down so I can understand what you're saying? You're talking a mile a minute. Example 2, I couldn't follow the instructions on the YouTube video. The presenter was going a mile a minute. So you don't necessarily have to say that the presenter was going through things a mile a minute. You just go, the presenter was going a mile a minute or talking a mile a minute. So it just obviously means that it's very, very fast. Full steam ahead. So obviously if something is full steam ahead, you can take this sort of literally. If something is full steam ahead, then it's moving as fast as possible in relation to, say, a steam engine. So all the supplies had arrived and everyone was trained and ready. So it was full steam ahead as far as the production team were concerned. So this means that it was time to get going. Everything was ready so they could move forward quickly. Put the pedal to the metal. The concert starts in 15 minutes. So put the pedal to the metal and get us there as fast as you can. Now, we mentioned earlier an accelerator in a car, and putting the pedal to the metal just means to push down on the accelerator so that it hits the floor of the car and the car can go as fast as possible. Spread like wildfire. Okay, so in relation to, say, a brush fire, or a wildfire going really fast and how a fire actually spreads, figurative sense is that something moves fast. She couldn't stop people from spreading gossip, so the rumors about her spread like wildfire, and everyone was talking about it by Monday morning. Okay, so the rumors spread quickly amongst the people who were talking. Quick off the mark. So the mark is in a race. When you hear on your marks, get set, go. And so if you're quick off the mark, you move away from that position very fast. So in a figurative sense, it's about moving fast from a starting position. Wow, you were quick off the mark. We've only just signed the papers and you're already moving your furniture into the house. So sometimes when someone says that you're quick off the mark, it's suggestive of you being unexpectedly fast. Get your skates on. Hey, get out of bed. We're going to Disneyland, so everyone get your skates on and get into the car. So obviously this isn't literal. No one's asking you to put your skates on, but in a figurative sense, it means do something that makes you move fast. Okay, as if you have skates on, you have wheels on your feet and you can go fast. So it's just an instruction to hurry. Off to a flying start. So similar to quick off the mark, it's something moving fast from the beginning, okay, or from a starting position. We've sold 100 copies of the book and it's only the first day. We're really off to a flying start. Okay, so it sets up an expectation that things are going to be good as time goes by. Quick on the uptake. The uptake is how you understand something or how you take on board instructions. Okay. The manager was delighted with his new employee. She was sharp as a tack and quick on the uptake. She got stuck into each task and performed really well. So if someone is quick on the uptake, it means that they're very quick to understand the instructions and to put them into play, put them into practice. Get the finger out. Okay, some people might find this one a little rude, depending on how you interpret it. But the idea is that you're doing nothing and you're lazy and you could be picking your nose, for example. But they're telling you to get the finger out or get your finger out. It means to stop just wasting time and get moving. I'm tired of telling you to get back to work. If you don't get your finger out and get that report done, you're fired. Our last one then is like a bat out of hell. Okay, and there was a famous song by Meatloaf, the rock singer who died very recently. Like a bat out of hell. This is just about moving very, very fast. Okay, it's usually related to vehicles, but not always. You wouldn't believe how quickly he left her when he found out what she had done. He packed his bags and drove off like a bat out of hell. Okay, so the idea is that he just went so fast, just like a shot. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of our vocabulary for speed. So we hope that you learned something from this today. And don't forget then to visit our website, EnglishLogica.com, where we have thousands of free pages of content, our vocabulary databases, videos, we've themed vocabulary, and we have interactive comic books, and lots more. And everything is free for you to look at. So do visit us there at EnglishLogica.com. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for us, drop them in the comments below and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.